And we are live. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Let's Talk Fishing video podcast. My name is James, and I'm going to be your podcaster for this evening. Tonight, I have a very special guest, a lady by the name of Denise Sustaita. Denise does all kinds of things in the fishing world, from ladies' tournaments to real girls fish. But enough about me. Denise, how you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you, Jay?
I'm doing very good. Did I get your name right?
You did. You did. Great job.
Like I said, if I don't get anything else right, I want to pronounce the person's last name correctly.
I've heard all kinds of variations. You did a great job.
So let's talk about the East Texas Lady Bass Trail.
Sure. So Renee Key Johnson and I decided about a little over a year ago that we wanted to start a local chapter, one that stayed close to home. And so we started East Texas Lady Anglers, where we go back and forth between Sam Rayburn and Toledo Bend. And, we wanted something that was, again, something that was a little bit closer to home, something maybe that didn't require as much travel, as much expense. She and I both fished the LBAA, which, as you know, is a national circuit. And so, there's a lot of time involved in that, and not everybody can do that and commit that much time. And
not
it's
everybody
expensive.
can take 5 weeks off work in a year. Yeah,
and time from work, exactly. So, this was our first year, and we just finished up our first season, and we have our championship in September. And it was fantastic. We had a great time. We had some of the ladies from the LBAA come and join us. Some new ladies came to join us, and we're really looking forward to next year already, and just excited to continue growing it.
Man, so Toledo Bend, Sam Rayburn, did you have any noteworthy catches?
Yes. So it was a pretty good year. I had a great year this year. And one that comes to mind immediately is my daughter. Both of my daughters actually came and fished for the first time as co-anglers.
Wow.
And it's a boater co-angler circuit. And so there is a draw. And at Toledo Bend, in April, ironically, my daughter drew me, and so we were able to fish together for the first time in a tournament. So it was pretty cool. But the amazing thing about it is that morning she caught one that was it was really early in the morning, and it was like 7.5 pounds.
Wow.
And that was, of course, her biggest fish ever. And then about 3 hours, maybe 2 hours later, I caught one that was almost 8 pounds.
Wow.
So we both came to the scales with two fish that were over 7.5, almost 8 pounds. And
giant.
Yeah, mother-daughter duo had a pretty good day that day. So that definitely is one that comes to mind. But Toledo Bend and Rayburn are both fantastic fisheries.
Yes.
They're huge, and that was one of the reasons why we picked those two, is because even though we go back and forth to the same lakes, I mean, it would take forever for you to ever cover those two lakes. And
yes.
we picked somewhere that was somewhat in the middle of the lake, so that you could go, north or south or whichever direction you want to go. And, depending on time of the year, whatever, you can, decide where you want to fish. And there are just so many options. And that's one of the reasons why we chose those two lakes.
So many things you can do at each of those lakes.
Exactly.
If you want to fish shallow, you can fish shallow. If you want to fish deep, you can fish really deep.
Exactly.
And there's fish everywhere. Yeah.
And so
I know there's seasonal migrations, but some of those fish sit on the bank all year long.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And, the championship, ironically, is also going to be at Toledo Bend. Like I said, we started on Rayburn and we went back and forth. And so it will end on Toledo Bend in September. And, so we're just really looking forward to the championship now, and already working on next year's schedule.
If somebody wanted to get more information about this tournament trail, where would they find that, Denise?
So you can go to realgirlsfish.net, which you see the website there, but we do have the East Texas Lady Angler page. I'm going to scoot over there so you can see the logo. There is the page there on the Real Girls Fish Net website. So all of the information is there. You can register there. You can see the schedule there. You can become a member there. You don't have to fish with us. If you want to just be a member and stay in the know, support the trail, you can certainly do that as well. And all of the information is there. So
great. I met you through iBass 360. How did you meet the boys from iBass 360?
Oh goodness, those Eric and Rob are just two fantastic men. I mean, I met them through the LBAA. They supported the LBAA, still support the LBAA, and we absolutely love those companies and people out there that support us women. And I met them several years ago, and then about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, I was fortunate enough they came to Texas, and I was able to take them out and do some fishing. And then we also met up with some of the other LBAA lady anglers over at the Gary Yamamoto Ranch.
Nice.
And had a great time there. And I've been part of that family for several years now, and got to visit with Rob just recently at ICAST, and that was just a ton of fun. They are both just great people. They are just so very well respected in the industry, and what a fantastic job that Rob did at ICAST, interviewing all of these companies. I was fortunate enough to be able to walk around with him and just meet some of everybody knows Rob. Let me just put it that way.
Yes.
Everybody knows Rob, and for due reason. I mean, they have been around for a long time, and they do such great work. And in fact, I was able to represent iBass 360 in the ICAST Cup.
Wow.
We fished the ICAST Cup, and I had a flag made with iBass 360, so it was really cool to have that flag flying as we were running down the lake. And so I just love supporting them because they support us, and it's important that they know how much we appreciate them as well. So,
well, I appreciate them too, because I believe that they are doing positive things for the fishing industry, and I like the way the fishing industry is going. It's a lot friendlier than it was when I was in it back in the 90s and the 2000s. I got out of it, unfortunately, back in 2011. Came back in, and it was a different world. I noticed first there's just so many more people in it now, but there's so many more positive people in it too, which is what I enjoyed. And now I'm here for good now.
Well, good.
I really enjoy people like Rob, Eric, and you, and all the rest of the people. Jen Nolan, who I had on last week,
Yes, I was able to introduce Jen to Rob at ICAST, and boy, she's just a stick of dynamite. Let me tell you, she's so much fun. She and I, in fact, she fished with us this year, yes. The East Texas Lady Anglers. And, I got to go peacock bass fishing with her in February in Miami. And we have just had a ton of fun this year together. And I love everything that she's doing in the fishing community as well. She is a busy mama.
Yes, 6 kids. Yeah, 6 kids.
Yes, with 6 kids.
Well, let's talk fishing. You are quite a Texas angler. So, what is your go-to presentation on Sam Rayburn?
Well, my all-time favorite is a Texas rig. I probably throw a Texas rig 90% of the time. It's my comfort zone. It's what I absolutely love doing. Of course, every fishing trip, may warrant something different, but I've always got one tied on, that's for sure. That is definitely my go-to.
What do you like putting on? putting on your Texas?
Well, I'll throw everything from a like an old monster, or a Mag 2, or I throw a Cinco a lot on a Texas rig. I know a lot of people like to wacky a Cinco, but I really like to throw a Cinco on a Texas rig. So
Okay.
yeah, there's there's, like I said, there's always a Texas rig tied on the deck of my boat for sure. And then of course, I guess my other go-tos after that would be, of course, I'm always going to have a top water.
Mhm.
I've been on the Livingston lure staff for, oh gosh, probably 5-7 years now. And there's one bait that is always tied on that's also on my deck of my boat. And if anybody's ever fished with me, they know that I've got a Walking Boss 2 on there, and it's I don't know if you've ever seen it before, but it's different. It moves different. And there is a junior as well, and I like both of them, just depending on what I'm doing. Sometimes I'll throw the bigger one, or sometimes I'll throw the smaller one. But
So you're talking to Walking Boss. For those guys who don't know, is that something like a Zara Spook?
Well, it's kind of a broken back, and so it kind of walks side to side on top of the water. And boy, it is a walking machine. It'll get those fish fired up, and and I've caught a lot of really nice solid fish on that topwater bait. But yeah, that's one of my go-to for sure. I'm sorry.
Boy, I bet you that's exciting. I love the way a bass comes up after a Zara Spook. I've never seen the Walking Boss actually fished.
Yeah.
But I know when they come up after a Zara coming through the water like this.
Oh, for sure.
Sometimes they don't get to eat it till they'll jump out of the water and come back down and grab it on the way down.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that is I've only seen that probably 4 times in my life. But that is exciting. You see a redfish do that? I've only seen that once. Yeah, that happened. Oh, I don't even think.
Oh man, the topwater bite is one of the most exciting bites ever. I'll never forget when I took my daughter for the first time, or when she caught her first topwater fish. I mean, she was hooked, I think, from that point forward. So her favorite style of fishing now is topwater, because for that reason right there. It's just that excitement of that fish coming out of the water and hitting your bait. So
I think the most exciting thing I've ever seen topwater was a school of hybrid stripers fighting over a Zara Spook.
Oh wow! I bet that was exciting.
Both sides, and they were all about 4 pounds. There weren't any real big. I've caught them up to about 15 pounds, but that was only once. Average about 4 pounds up in Illinois in the power plant lakes, and they were fighting over this thing, and I'm guiding to think, man, why didn't they go cast over there? I'm telling my customers, they're just
I bet that was exciting for sure.
Neither have I. And I've been doing this for 40 years. I've never seen anything like this.
Wow.
Incredible. So I'm right there with you, man. Topwater is exciting. I don't do it much. I'm mostly a finesse fisherman. And I fish with what I have confidence in.
Sure. And that's important. It really is. I was talking about wacky rigging earlier, and, I know some lady anglers that are just, they are phenomenal and catch some really good fish wacky rigging. And, it's just not my comfort zone, but I keep telling myself I'm going to do it more often, but
if you need to fill up your box, you have 2 fish left and you just can't get them on that, you slow it down, number one. And if you still can't get them, wacky rig.
Yeah.
And throw it right into the structure, man. Down here in Indiana, we have a lot of cypress trees, and man, I will throw that thing in, skip it underneath the cypress trees, try to get it as close to the bank as I can get it, or just throw it. If there's a hollow, some cypress trees have a hollow center, throw it
Oh,
right
for
in there.
sure.
Just
Oh,
sit, man.
that is
And I'm
so
sitting
much
there,
fun.
and of course the guy I'm fishing with, are you ready to move yet? Power fishing.
No, not yet.
No,
Because I know
I
he's
can see here
there.
for 5 more minutes. Here for 5 more minutes. Just you don't think there's anything in there because you can't see that on your live scope.
Yeah. And that's
And I
something
don't
too
have
that you
anything
mentioned.
against live scope, man. I think it's really a cool thing, but you can't see the bass in between the cypress knees. You can't see them
Yeah,
inside the trees. You can't see the bass who are hiding down in the eelgrass.
exactly.
And I can throw my boom buzz and my new favorite thing, the
Oh, yeah.
Yamakanudis.
Oh, yeah.
Boy, you being a Gary Yamamoto, look at this thing, man. 5/8 ounce.
Wow.
It's got one of them things on the back too. See
Oh,
that? You
yeah.
just hold it there and it just quivers.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah.
That's a Yamakanudi. It's even fun to say.
Yeah. And I thought my last name was tough. Or you thought my last name was tough.
I just wanted to get your last name right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, don't screw this one up, Jake. Don't screw this one up. Don't. And usually I say that so much to myself, I talk it into existence. I screw it up.
You did fine.
Yeah, I did. Thank you. Okay, so you like top water? You like to throw the Texas rig. That's really going back to the roots of bass fishing. Before we had tech, man, when I was a kid back in the early 70s, I read a book called Lunkers Love Nightcrawlers, and it taught me how to Texas rig a live nightcrawler.
Interesting.
Yeah, and that's how I caught my first big bass by myself. I went out with Dad
Yeah.
and we caught fish together, but I used to go to local ponds when I was, probably in 3rd and 4th grade. Back then, kids could walk across town, and
Yeah.
no big deal, no big
Sure.
deal. But I got there and I had all these night crawlers I had found the night before, and I was. But that's why I like Texas rigging. Really gets us back, the days of the man's jelly worm and
Yeah.
old school stuff. Old school, I like that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's probably one of the first techniques I learned. And so it was just, it became a comfort zone. And, you talk about slowing down. That's one thing that I started really focusing on last year is just really slowing down a lot more. And it's definitely helped. So I guess if I had one tip for anyone asking, like, what would you do differently? I would definitely say slow down. I think in the
Yes.
past, that might have been something I did. Was just move around too much. And yeah, it
Well, there's
definitely
two
makes a
different
difference.
schools of thought there. The power fishermen are looking for the most active fish, and as Brock Mosley told me, the dumbest fish in the system. The ones that are going to bite first. They're not always the biggest, but if you get your 5, you're doing well in any tournament, as far as I'm concerned.
Sure.
But the finesse fisherman, I'm the kind of guy, when I leave an area, I picked it over. And you're going to have a hard time catching a fish in back of me.
Yeah.
Of course there are fish that aren't going to bite when I'm, of course, that'd be very arrogant to say I'm like a saint, because I'm not.
Right.
But I'm confident I've done my best, and I have
Sure.
thoroughly worked that area. I'm not the best fisherman, but I certainly, I can hold my own.
Yeah. And speaking of, I told you I'm going to get you out on Rayburn sometime.
That, as I tell people, don't tell me that unless you want me knocking on your door.
I told you, I'm serious. It sounds like you're going kayak fishing with Jen and you're going bass fishing on Rayburn with me.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. So tell me, what is Real Girls Fish?
So Real Girls Fish actually started in 2009, a long time ago. So back in the day, I was fishing a local tournament here on Rayburn, and I was getting ready for it, and two things. I like to wear visors, and so I ran to Academy trying to find me a visor for the tournament so that I could wear, and I needed a shirt. I wanted a new fishing shirt. Well, back in 2009, you didn't have the ladies section, fishing section like you do now.
Yeah.
So I created my own. I created my own visor, and I created my own shirt, and I just kind of, decked it out. Real Girls Fish kind of uh, became a thing. People liked it, and started asking me for, some similar items, and Real Girls Fish was born. So I started setting up my booth. I've been to the Bassmaster Classic. I've been to the Forest Wood Cup. I've set up my booth several times at those events back in the day, and lots of other tournaments around Texas and Louisiana area as well. And very well received. However, I decided I also wanted a tournament fish, and I couldn't do both. It's real hard to sit at a booth at a tournament and not be able to fish.
Yes.
So unfortunately, and that's also when I found the LBAA, the Lady Bass Angler Association, and I knew I wanted to be a part of it. And so I tried to do both, but it was really difficult because I have a full-time job as well. And so, it was just, I thought, well, I'll continue, working it online, the Real Girls Fish online, and, tournament fish. And it was just real hard to keep both of them going at the time. But I still managed to. I've never let it go. I just wasn't as active with it as I was in the very beginning because of, how busy I got with tournament fishing. But, I set up at the Bassmaster Classic when it came to Conroe just a few years ago, and the people still love it. So, I was very inspired when I went to ICAST a few weeks ago to really, make sure that I continue it, because it was just evident in especially in the two, in the social and the breakfast that we had for the women anglers there, how important it is and how much we need it, And so I just made it a point that I wanted to definitely, just ramp it back up and get back after it. So yeah, so it's been around for a long time, even though I wasn't as active with it. But so it's now I have everything from shirts, hats, floozy koozies. People, I should have brought a floozy koozie. Floozy koozies are these. I have them for water bottles. I have them for cans. I have all different, sizes, but they are your standard koozie that have Real Girls Fish on them embroidered. But the floozy part is the boa that wraps around it. It's just it's trimmed with a really pretty boa. Yeah. And so those have always been very popular because, they're just in pretty colors, and they just get the girls' attention.
Okay, we have a comment from the audience. It's Facebook user. Folks, if you're going to comment, please tell me who you are, because the only thing that Facebook tells me is Facebook users. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hearts.
Oh, awesome!
Well,
maybe they've been a Real Girls Fish. Maybe they've been to a booth. Maybe they're familiar with the products. I just set up at last weekend at a outdoor expo and met a lot of new ladies there. So, maybe hopefully it's one of those new ladies that I just met. I had the floozy koozies there, earrings. I have bass earrings. Just all kinds of different designs on the shirts as well. I think right now I probably have about 6 different designs. And, I change them out periodically. And so, yeah, just a lot of fun stuff for the girls.
Interesting. Real Girls Fish. realgirlsfish.net.
Yep.
Check that out. Buy something for your wives, or wives, just buy something for yourself.
You know what's funny is, when I set up at the tournaments, I actually was so surprised at how many men I would have come and purchase things because they felt guilty being away from their family over the weekend, that they wanted to bring something home for their wives and their because I also have a children's line as well, and so they'd bring
I'll tell you,
merchandise home for them as well. So that was a lot of fun too.
I was one of those guys, but they really feel guilty about it. They just spent $2,500 on themselves, and they won 400. Yay! I won 400.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we don't have any money.
But Real Girls
Yeah.
Fish has been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed it through the years, and the page has really grown, and we've got, I think we're up to 7,000 followers now, and
Wow.
it's just been a fun ride. So, yeah.
Wow, 7,000 followers. That's quite a few.
Yeah.
So you're also involved in the LBAA.
I am. So let's see. I started fishing the LBAA. I can't remember if it started in 2010 or 11, but I actually I started fishing the second year and have been a member and fished with them since then. So almost since inception. It's a great group of women. We travel all over the United States.
Yeah.
And
a lot of them on the show, like Cheryl Bowden and Secret York and Kay Lowe and
absolutely
Stephanie Hemphill. She's fished that before.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Stephanie is a local here on Rayburn. I've known Stephanie for years. She has fished with LBAA and is a great friend. And so I've met lots of amazing women through the LBAA. And some amazing anglers. We have Pam Martin Wells, and we've had several others that fish the original women's bass tour back in the day, and a lot of them actually. And so it's just been a lot of fun. We feel like we're family, and we're very close off the water. When they start calling boat numbers, we're very competitive against one another. But
sure.
When we're off the water, it is just one big family. And I was actually set up. My Real Girls Fish booth was set up at the Bassmaster Classic, and a lady came to my booth named Deb Warner. Hey Deb, I don't know if you're watching, but the LBAA was going to be kicking off in Texas that year. And that's how I found out about it. She told me about it. She's like, you need to come fish with us. I was terrified and said, there's no way. I've never fished anything like that. I'm not good enough. She's like, you can come as a co-angler. And I did. And I did. And I was hooked. After the very first one, I was hooked, and I never quit after that. I fished as a co-angler for about, I don't know, maybe 5 years. Went over to the boater side and have been there since. So yeah, we actually have our championship coming up at Bull Shoals end of September for LBAA.
Bull Shoals. Ugh.
Yep.
Boy, I tell you, Bull Shoals. It's
a beautiful lake. Oh my gosh. The very first time I fished.
It's hard to fit. I think
it's so clear. I didn't realize how much I loved my muddy water until I fished there, because you can see the fish and it messes with your mind.
They can see you too, because as you pull up, you're trying to inch towards them. They're like, you can see them actually like looking at you. I've actually seen fish turn around and look at me, then start backing up and turn around and again and swim away.
Yeah. It's
beautiful. Hey, look, there's a crawfish in back of you.
Yeah. Oh, but what a beautiful body of water.
Go up the creeks, and that's the only place I've ever gone up the creeks to look for muddier water.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Sure.
Most places you go up the creeks to look for cleaner water.
Exactly.
You being from Texas have done that a few times, haven't you? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yes, for sure.
My mom lives up there in northern Arkansas, so I fished a lot of those lakes with a lot of different guides. And
oh, okay.
And most of them, we went out for stripers one time on Norfolk, and the guy's like, "Okay, meet me at midnight." I'm like, "There's something different." He said, "Man, we have clear water. I'd like to fish tonight." He said, "The moon's going to be out. It's going to be a great night." Man, we caught some big stripers. That was fun.
Oh, fun.
And, I wanted to fish for bass. He said, "I don't fish for bass."
Oh.
Why don't you fish for bass in Arkansas?
Arkansas has some great lakes as well. And, that's another thing I have to say. All the years of fishing with the LBAA, I have been on some beautiful bodies of water all across the United States and have met some wonderful people, and just what a great trail. Cheryl and Secret, I just hats off to them and all of the staff. I mean, they have been, just so, I mean, it's run so well. And, I mean, to carry that on after, the women's bass tour ended, and to give the ladies, another avenue and another, trail to fish. It's just been, it's been amazing. I mean, I absolutely love it.
And, I've liked 4 years I've been doing this now. I've liked following the LBAA and, having the ladies on and talking about fishing and seeing their passion for the sport that I love so much.
Exactly.
It's been a lot of fun following the trail.
I'm going to go back to the sponsors again. Livingston was a big sponsor. Gary Yamamoto was a big sponsor, and it's unfortunate that it's so tough for us to get those bigger sponsors. And the ladies trail, and so for that reason, it's just, it means so much to us, and it's so important to us when we do get that support. So, just again, kudos to all of those companies that have supported us. And, we really appreciate you again, and goes back to iBass 360 as well. So absolutely.
Well, that's a good segue, since it's coming up on 35 after the hour. Do you have any shout outs you'd like to do?
Well, my background here has most of the companies that have supported us through, for sure, East Texas Lady Anglers. A lot of them also are supportive of the LBAA, and it just kind of I'm just gonna repeat myself again. I can't say thank you enough. We've had some fantastic sponsors this year for our first year for East Texas Lady Anglers. I mean, this banner is full of them, and again, I just can't stress how important you guys are to us, and we appreciate you. And, just huge shout out to them. And if anybody, needs anything, please make sure they reach out to any of those that are on this banner here, because they support us and we want to support them. So for sure.
Well, I couldn't agree with you more. Denise, thank you so much.
Oh, Jay, thank you. Absolutely. Thank you for having me. This was exciting. I was super excited when you asked me to join, and I really appreciate you having me on and talking about all of these different avenues that are so passionate to me. So
sure. And I'd like to do a huge shout out to iBass 360 for just introducing me to all these great people, and I have fun doing the podcast with y'all.
Thank you so much for having us.
And also, I'd like to thank everybody for tuning into the Let's Talk Fishing video podcast. My name is Jay Angel with Denise from Real Girls Fish from the East Texas Ladies Bass Trail. And thank you. And guys, it's Wednesday night. Make your plans. Go fishing this weekend. I don't care if it is 118 degrees outside. You only get to do this once, so have some fun. And please stick around, Denise. I'd like to talk to you for here's another one. I think this is my buddy Clint from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He said, "The Facebook Live guy just met you. I salute you, young lady, and all hail women fishing."
Oh, thank you so much. We
That is a
appreciate
very,
it.
very cool thing to say. Thank you very much. And with that, I'm going to end the podcast. And Denise, please stick around.
Thanks, Jay.